Hello everyone. Welcome back to another video. Alright, let's check it out. Let's see what we got for you right now. We have a car that in some parts of, I think most around, at least wherever this car was sold, we know it differently. What we have in front of us right now, it's a 143 scale 1990 Ford Cougar. Now the Ford Cougar, it's the model that, like I said before, we know it as a differently because in USA and Canada, this model was known as the Mercury Cougar. But somehow I have noticed that in Mexico, because this model here is from a collection of Mexican cars that came out in the years. It's like a collection of cars they have, and this is one of them. But this model here, in Mexico, they call them Ford. And I've noticed that in quite a few other cars. I'm thinking that Mercury was never sold in Mexico, or they were not popular, so they rather call them a Ford. Because this model is known almost everywhere, like I said, as a Mercury Cougar. But they share the same engines. It's just to guess the name tag. It looks exactly the same. They even have the front in the grill has the front insignia of the Cougar. That's the logo of the Mercury / Ford Cougar. But this car right here is the second generation. I'm sorry. It's the seventh generation of like I said, of the Mercury Cougar / Ford Cougar. They came out in 1989 and all the way down to 1997. They did have a refreshed look to it. They refreshed the midway, I think like 1991 and like 1992 or 3. They refreshed the car all over. Not all over, but they gave him a little bit more like a rounded front end. But it was cute. I'm not sure if that also happened for the Ford Cougar. I'm talking more about what happened to the Mercury Cougar because this is what it is. This car right here. Alright guys, engine wise, let's talk about engines on this model. You know, American cars, they always have big engines, so they can have a big engine. Alright, give me a second. Let's see. Okay, engine-wise. By the way, this model only came as a 2-door. They share the base with the Ford Thunderbird, which is about the same length, more or less, but it's a very different 2-door shape. The Thunderbird was a little bit more like a sports looking, when the Mercury was more like a 2-door luxury coupe. But going back to the engines, like I was saying before, the 7th generation of this brand model. Okay, it had a 3.8 V6, a 4.9 V8. By the way, the 4.9 started in 1991, and then in 1994 they had a 4.6. And transmission-wise, you had a four door, and I have said that in a few other videos. I don't know why instead of saying 4-speed, I say 4-door. 4-speed automatic and a 5-speed manual. But the manual only came out for 2 years, which was the first 2 years of this model, 1989 and 1990. So I guess after that they noticed that manual stick shift was not really popular in this car, so they rather just keep it as automatic. You know, cars where they don't, especially in North America, usually automatics are the #1 choice. Alright guys, so I'm gonna let it go around a few times and I'll be right back. Alright, guys. So, what do you guys think about this model? Did you find him attractive? I'm not sure if you ever seen this model. If you some parts of the world, maybe this car was never sold. But if it was sold, what do you guys think about it? Did you like him? Did you find him too big? Typical like an American car, not too big but not too reliable. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. And if they never sold in your country, do you find them attractive? Do you find them like there was a car that you wish it did sell in your country? You know, American cars have a tendency of being very big and very long, and we all know that. They have gotten a lot better. They have shrunk a bit. You know, they don't make. They're pulling away those V8s now. They're V6 or V or 4 cylinders. Well, by the way, guys, before I forget them, Mercury or Ford Cougar, like we see in front of us, they're no longer in business. They long gone. After this series, they came out with another round of the Ford or Mercury Cougar. That was sold and that was actually a model based on the European model, and they brought it to to North America, but then it did not sell very well, from my understanding, and they were probably not the most reliable either. Unfortunately, that's the big burden for Fords lately. They're not reliable. People don't want to really buy them like they used to because they don't trust them. They are uh, quite delicate to drive too far. Like this model specifically, you barely see them on the roads right now, barely. And this is only a what is it, 30-year-old car? I mean, you see Toyotas from the 80s, and they still like around with no issues. Alright, guys, don't forget to give me that beautiful thumbs up. Don't forget to comment below. Let me know what you guys think about these cars. And hopefully you're enjoying these videos as much as I'm enjoying making them. Alright, guys, so take care of yourselves more than ever. And goodbye.